Roots of the Science podcast with your girl, Anne with an E.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 64. So excited for you to join us once again. If you are new, welcome. Do make sure that you follow, subscribe, set a reminder, whatever you need to do to remember that there's a new episode every Monday, and catch up on all the other past episodes. And you can also rate and review. It would be greatly appreciated. My guest today is Kate Mwambo. She is born and based in Cameroon. In this episode, we learn that she is the youngest of three with two older brothers who are electrical engineers. Her dad, a mathematician, would always encourage her to be an outstanding science student, providing her the necessary support. Having received that support, Kate talks us through entering the field of petroleum technology in undergraduate level, which was predominantly male-dominated. Through pure will and determination, she made it and became the top student in her class and the entire school. Talk about inspiring, right? She then explains to us what this field of petroleum engineering actually involves, breaking it down so that we can all understand. This was a first for me, so I was really in the course of a conversation. We then also discussed about the brand of women clothing that she started called STEMik clothing, and also we discussed the vision behind it and her overall goal to make STEM fashionable. Lastly, we chat about her journey as a STEMI leader's mentee and why mentorship, especially in STEM, is so important. Do tune in. Hi, Kate. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Anne. Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be with you today on the podcast series.
I'm very excited.
How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great to chat with you today for us to get to know you some more. And with that being said, please just give us a brief introduction about yourself, where you're currently based, and what are you currently doing, just briefly.
Thank you so much once more. And like I said, I'm delighted to be in your podcast series today. I'm Nanyongo Kate Mwambo. I'm a Cameroonian, aged 26, currently residing in the English-speaking region of Cameroon. That's the southwest region, precisely Buea. And I'm passionate, I'm ambitious, and I'm a purpose-driven woman. I'm currently pursuing a master's in energy systems engineering, and I'm an advocate for STEM, for women in STEM.
Love it. You're in the right place with that whole advocacy and ambitious and driven woman. This is the circle. This is where it's at. But before we get into that, and I love how you brought up that you are this ambitious, and you can hear it in your voice, actually, that you're very passionate about what you do and your abilities. So in terms of away from all of this stuff and, being so driven, you obviously need some downtime, right? So how do you do it? How do you relax? What is your thing?
Okay. For me, it's music. Any day, anytime, it's music. For me, music brings out the best in me. It refreshes my soul. It helps me to relax whenever I'm tensed, when I'm maybe going through some difficulties or stress. Music to me is it's my way of relaxing. It's my way of easing stress. Yeah, I can't do without music.
Great. Yeah, music is amazing. So are you just a listener, or do you sing? Do you play something? What is it?
Good. I'm very good at singing and dancing too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We're learning something new here. Secret skills. So do you sing in the choir? Do you sing, or do you just sing in the shower, or do you perform, or is it just, one of those things?
I sing in the choir. I grew up in a Christian background, and it has always been church. So yes, I've always been in the choir. Up to now, I'm still in the choir. And yes, I sing everywhere. I sing anytime I'm inspired to. Yeah. And dancing too, especially to music, songs that go with me, that rhyme with me. I can dance on and on and on and on. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, that sounds really, really, really great. Is it too hard of a question to ask you what's one of your favorite songs to perform?
Yeah, with the choir, with church songs, I love these worship songs precisely. I can go with Ada and all of her songs, and then with contemporary music, it's a worldly music. I love this Master KG from South Africa. I'm sure he's from South Africa.
Yes.
That is Jerusalem. Was one of my favorite songs that I couldn't stop dancing
So
to
you
it.
did the dance, the move that went viral. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, we went viral.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love that. I love that, away from the science, you have this very creative outlet. And it's always good because, sometimes when people think of scientists, they think they are these rigid people who are just serious all
That's
the
right.
time. So
Mm-hmm.
you having this side of you is just
Mm-hmm.
breaking that mold. And I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay, great. So now, back to the sciences. We just want to figure out your origin story now, right? So, how did Kate get into sciences? Was it something that happened to you? Were they some influences? Like, how did you know that this is something that you want to do?
First of all, like I said in the beginning, I grew up in a family of three. I'm the only girl, and my dad was a mathematics teacher by then, and my two older brothers are electrical engineers. And my dad, back in the day, my dad would always encourage me. He would tell me, "I want you to grow up. I want you to be that woman, that outstanding lady. I want you to be outstanding in sciences. I don't want you to derail." So he made sure that he put me through one of the best schools. He made sure that I had everything I needed when it comes to studying. I had all my textbooks. Yeah. So my dad is basically, for me, my dad is one of the influencers, those who believed in me right from a younger age. And it was a good opportunity for me to also show my dad that I could do this. I could be a scientist. I came home always with good grades, always with good grades. So it made him happy, and I feel like, okay, yes, I can do this. And with a constant pat on my back, I was always on the journey.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm glad that you had a firm support system from the get-go. So, like you said, you were really good in terms of academically, right? So was it because your brothers were into engineering that you were also like, okay, this is the route that I could have taken? Because, with African parents, when you're good at maths and science, it's doctor, it's whatever. So why specifically the engineering route of it?
Okay, first of all, I'm the kind of person that loves challenges. I love to be in a place where I feel like maybe I'm the only person around, like a dreaded area. I like to go to places where people fear to tread. Because growing up, we always had this notion that women are not smart when it comes to the sciences. The sciences were meant for the boys. It's always for the boys. It's for the boys. But my dad always he made me understand that it all depends on me. It all depends on my desire and my passion, and I can do anything at any time. So he encouraged me. He encouraged me. I wouldn't say I didn't have difficulties along the line. I did, but I always had something to fall back on. Yeah, so it's a passion for me. It grew up. I started cultivating it, and then I was like, when I when I left high school, I was about going to the university, so I was planning to do petroleum engineering, but I had little orientation. So when I got into the state university, I realized that there was just geology, and it was under the Department of Geology that we had petroleum technology as a minor then. So then I was like, okay, I can use this as a starting point for my career. I would major in geology and then a minor under petroleum technology. But something happened. I remember when I got to school and I was going through the admission process, a guy walked up onto us and said, young ladies, I know you're freshmen, but there's something I'd like to tell you. The guy was in his final years and he was like, I really want to advise you for your own good. I would not advise, advise that you go in for petroleum technology because there are no girls there in that minor, and the boys that are there, they find it really difficult. Some of them have to spend more years in the university because they find it difficult to validate their courses. So he placed in me that spirit of fear, and he made me feel like I won't be able to do it. But then I was there with a friend who was applying for biochemistry. She wanted to apply for biochemistry. Then she turned to me and said, "Kate, don't listen to him. You can do this. You can do this. You're smart. I know you can do this. Don't let anyone talk you out. Don't let anyone talk you out. We can do this. I would advise you to take on your geology and mine on your petroleum technology field." So I was like, okay, fine. I was very happy that she was there and she encouraged me. Then I also had another challenge. When we started classes, the first week of classes in the university, the lecturer walks in and he's like, the class was kind of full with lots of boys and very few girls, basically not up to 5 girls. Then he's like, I'm not sure you people know what you're in for, and but I will not allow all of you to take on this minor. There's environmental sciences because there were 2 minors, environmental sciences and this petroleum technology. So he advised us. He said, if you know you're not good in physics, you're not good in mathematics, please, you can move out while you still have time. If not, you might see yourself spending 5 years or 6 years instead of 3 years in the university. So he also said we should come along with our high school transcripts so he can evaluate each and every one of us to see if we can fit into the minor. So you can imagine the challenges I faced. Now, I stepped out of class that day with this. I had this fear in my mind. So, I had good grades, but still, I still had. What if he looks at me and says, "Okay, I'm a woman"? But then I came back home, spoke to my dad, and he patted me on the back. He said, "Girl, you can do it. Just believe in yourself." So on the next day, we went to school. When it was my turn, he went through my transcript. truly, and I won't lie to you, I was really, really, really scared. And my mind was already in that minor. It was already in geology. I really didn't want anything I didn't want anything to stand in my way. So he went through my transcript, asked me a series of questions, asked me to derive a formula. I can't remember, but he asked me to come up with a formula, which I did. And then he went through my transcript detailedly. And then he finally gave me a handshake and said, "Congratulations, you're welcome to the petroleum technology minor." And I was like, "Thank you, sir." So that is how I found myself in geology and petroleum technology as a minor back in my university days. Now, moving on to my profession, my career as a petroleum engineer, I got into it by a scholarship program. I applied and I was taken, and that is how I found myself in petroleum engineering. A major in another higher institution that did that as a major for its students. That was specialized in petroleum engineering, an institution entirely.
Oh, what a story, and so many challenges that you've had to overcome. Like you said, it wasn't easy, and so many key points that you had all of these people telling you how the space does not welcome you, or just because you are female, how you need to second guess yourself because you are female, and and going into these places. Like you said, you said that you like to do things where you were like one of the few, but it's really hard to be one of the first few to actually pursue that space. So then this follows up with my question, right? You are in these spaces that don't really welcome if I can say that, welcome women, especially in petroleum engineering, like that the guy who said when you are applying that these even boys find it difficult. So did you find that you had to work harder, number one, to prove yourself, and number two, where people kind of look down at you? And if so, how did you do it? And what are some of the things that you did?
Thank you very much. And that's a very brilliant question. Yes, I had difficulties. Okay. But I always had to work extra hard. I would study extra hard. Even for the petroleum technology minor, which I did, we were just three ladies, and two of them were left behind. The year we're finally graduating, they could not pull through. Now, when I got to further my studies in petroleum engineering, I remember even when I got accepted into the scholarship, the school still had to interview me. Like, they kept asking me, like, are you really sure you want to do this? You know that women are not supposed to do things that you need to get to a point where you need to get married and have kids. This field is very demanding. It's very challenging. Are you really sure you want to do this? We can send you to other departments. Truly, they asked me this, and then I told them. Then to me, it was like, the more they kept saying it, the more I felt like, okay, I need to do this. But it became very, 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 very common. I kept hearing it everywhere. Then it was a form of motivation for me, and it was a form of motivation. Then I told the lecturers, I can do this. I know what I want, and I can do this. So they said, okay, you are in. And that is how I started the program. I had another girl. We were just two of us in a class of about 50, just two girls. Now, in the course of studies, and sometimes you realize that when lecturers come into class, when they pose questions, the boys who want to be all noticeable, they get to raise their hands up and give all the answers. But one thing that I like to use, there's this thing that I've used my entire life. I like it when people underestimate me. And that's one thing, yes, I like it when I'm underestimated. And then at the end of the day, you'll be amazed at the results I'll give you. So that was what I did. So I was underestimated in the class with my lady friend. We were just two of us. Like, people didn't want to come closer to us. They looked at us like, okay, we have missed our track. Sometimes the lecturers would, when they ask questions in class, the boys they were acting all high and mighty. And trust me, never for once did I ask to be noticed. But I will say this because I'm proud of my achievements, no matter how little they are, and because I know that there are other girls like me out there who might be going through similar situations. When I had my first defense in my first year, I came out the top. I had to defend on safety, offshore safety and safety practices. I came out the best in the entire school. And my average was so high. The guys were like, that is when they started noticing me. Some did not even know if I was in class there because I was hardly putting my hands up. I was just quiet. I was always on my own. Then they started noticing me. Going through my studies, through the final year, things kept happening like that. And I just kept pushing. And I was also the vice president of my student union in school. So that weight was already on me. Like, I needed to stand out. I cannot just be a vice president of a school and I can't academically, I can't prove myself. So I needed to. So the weight was on me, and I hope you can understand. The weight was on me. I needed to stand out. It was a form of motivation too. So I got that role. They gave me, the school handed me that role as a vice president. I took it wholeheartedly because I can tell you it helped me a lot when it comes to leadership. Okay, for my final year, we did everything, and behold, I still came out the exams. I came out the top ranking student in the entire school. There were other departments in school there. There was mining, there was petrochemical engineering, but I was a top student in the entire school. Yeah. So when my results came out, and I can quite remember some guys writing me, and they were like, Kate, are you serious? Like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
So up to that point, they still could not believe. Yeah, they still could not believe. Like, I left them behind, and I won't leave my friend behind, because after my result, she was the next that followed, and all the other guys came behind. So they kept calling us, and I was like, how? So you girls were actually this smart, and we just smart. We were humble, truly, we were humble. And that is how I got myself. That's how I saw myself here. And I'm still pushing, and I know there's still much ahead for me to do.
I have goosebumps with your story, and talk about knocking the ball out of the park, smashing goals. And I think anybody who's listening is just like, this is literally how you silence all of your haters. You know what they say, like, all the people who doubt you, that's exactly how you silence them, by making sure that you are not only the best in your class, in your whole institution. And for that is absolutely amazing. And it's so inspiring. Oh my goodness. Wow. I just want to give you a round of applause. What?
Thank you, Anna.
And you're absolutely right. This is only the beginning for you. This is only the beginning. Okay, so we keep talking about petroleum engineering. For somebody who's not familiar, like for me, I didn't even know that this is something that one actually can do. All I know about petrol is when I go to the petrol gas station and I fill up in my car. So just an overview, what does your field actually involve, and why is it so important for us to have people like you?
Okay. Thank you so much. And once more, petroleum engineering is petroleum is about oil and gas. We call it oil and gas, and in geology we call it the rock oil. It's a mineral resource that we use it to produce other things, or that they are byproducts of petroleum. We have petroleum jelly. We have I can't really. Please, I can't really speak much about that now. My mind is just. But we have petroleum jelly. We have many products of petroleum. We have plastics that we buy products of these petroleum products. Now, in petroleum engineering, there are basically three sectors. We have the upstream, the midstream, and then the downstream. The upstream is all about the drilling, the exploration processes, and then the midstream. Oh, sorry, excuse me. The upstream is about the exploitation. Then the midstream we have the exploration. Then the downstream we have production, and then distribution to households and communities. So basically, that's what petroleum engineering is all about. It's a broad field. At this point, you still need to go further and specialize. You can specialize in production, where you'll be working in refineries to come up with those byproducts of petroleum. You can do drilling, where you'll be the ones that will go to the field, and you set up your rig, and you would take out your hydrocarbons, or they call it hydrocarbons, from beneath the surface of the earth. Yeah, so there's drilling. You can be a driller. You can be a geologist. Geologists are those who identify the potential areas where we have these resources, because you cannot just go to a place and say, okay, fine, I think there should be petrol here, and then let's just set up our equipment and start drilling. No, you have to do feasibility studies. You need to understand there are a lot of processes that are involved. So we have to decide the fact that there's oil and gas here, and then we can now call on the other team, and then we can set up our rig, our platforms, and then we can drill. Yeah, basically that's it. So I don't go tips so people get confused.
No, that's a nice overview. That's a nice overview. So now for you, in your master's research, which fields are you specializing in? Because like you said, it's very broad. So what's your speciality?
Okay. My specialty for now is actually I wanted to do health, safety, and environment. I wanted to be an HSC officer. That I'll be involved with maybe a strictly ahead to, but I had some challenges, but I'll take it later. I'll do that later. So presently, I just started my studies with a master's in energy systems engineering. So it's all about energy, all the systems yeah. Mm-hmm.
I completely understand when you've just started a different field. It's a little bit difficult to get into the finer details, but I hope that you can find your way back to doing what you loved. And just to continue the conversation further, you spoke earlier in introduction that you are very passionate about empowering women and STEM and whatnot. And even as you spoke, you it's coming through that you like to do things that are different, that empower women. I think it's because of your own journey in doing this. So with that being said, you are actually a CEO of your own company where you're working on a brand of women clothing for STEM in Africa. And so I just wanted you to please tell us more about this and how it came about and your whole vision for it.
Okay, thank you. And back in my home, I've always felt like I needed to give back to the community. Yes, the road is still long ahead, but still, I believe that I can start from somewhere. So, STEMik clothing there's capital S, capital T, capital E, M, and then there is the little I, and then there is K. Now, the STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Then the I is for innovation, and then the K is Kate. So that's the meaning behind STEMik. So, so STEMik clothing was birthed as I got into this project Kongoza mentorship program. I was paired with my mentor, Dr. Brenda Namumba, the first Zambian to have a PhD in petrophysics. She's my mentor. So we got talking and it's been an amazing journey so far. That was last year. And I had this idea and then I was like, I think I should start somewhere. I have juniors, I have girls in the family that I'm kind of bringing up. Yeah, I'm kind of bringing them up in my little way. I advise them on the subjects to take and I'm trying my best. Then about this brand, I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this thing. And back here, I don't know if it's common where you are, but back in my home, they believe that science girls they don't know fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they believe we don't know fashion and we don't know fashion. We spend our time, sometimes they say we use a hair for 2 months. So my brand is all about changing that narrative. I want to use my brand to encourage young girls. I want to help retain them. I want more girls to join STEM. How? In that my items are t-shirts, hoodies, pins, bags, and everything that are customized with specific messages concerning STEM. We can have examples can be engineering girls. We have engineering girls, a engineer, and they have all those messages about space and all those things. All those messages concerning STEM and innovation are incorporated into these t-shirts. They encourage our young ladies, our young women. So that is how my brand was birthed. How am I going to do this? Products would be used to advance women in STEM. In that, we would use our proceeds to sponsor first-generation females from very low-income communities into the university. No matter how little, we can start with 2 a year, and with time, we can always grow. But that is the vision I have for STEMik clothing. And why not Africa and the world? Yeah. So I'm using my brand to advocate for women and girls in STEM.
I love it. I love it. And it's awesome that you were inspired to birth your idea into reality. I love what you said about how people always assume that women in STEM are not, that always are not cute or they don't care about fashion. It's true, but I'm loving that. I think our generation is becoming more attuned to that, and we want to break that stereotype because, hey, we also like to look cute, and we are not limited by any of that. And I wish you all of the best with this. And when it's up and running, is not up and running yet where people could like maybe buy shirts if they were interested, or is that still to come?
Yeah, we're in the production stage. We are currently producing, and when it's out, I'll put it out. Of course, I'll have all my media platforms. I'll have a media platform specifically for STEMI clothing. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. I'm working on that.
We are waiting in anticipation, and we wish you all of the best. Okay, so as we wrap up, you mentioned briefly about you being part of the STEMI Leaders mentorship program, where your mentor is one of the first. What did you say? Astrophysicist?
Yes, she's the first Zambian to have a PhD in astrophysics.
Wow, which is huge.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, as a mentee, being part of programs or initiatives like this one, why do you think it's important for young women in STEM to be involved in things like that?
Role models are very important in that. They will help our young ladies, the upcoming generation, they will guide them. They will help them with their challenges because they have been there before and they better know how to handle these challenges. Mentorship programs for me is a very good opportunity. It helps to build self-confidence, just like it has done for me. It has built my self-confidence. It has enhanced my communication skills, and it has also enhanced my leadership qualities. So I think with programs like this, it will go a long way to help encourage other young women and ladies.
For sure. And I mean, just look at you now, where you're saying that having spoken to her, you were able to actually give your vision into reality. And I think also spot on about visibility, seeing that you have, for example, I think for you it works so beautifully because she was one of the first and you one of the first in your field back home as well, in your space rather, in your institution. So I think it's really comforting to know that, hey, there's somebody who's done this before and you can talk about some of those challenges and relate. So I firmly agree with everything that you just said. And as we wrap everything up and we close the show, I just wanted to say you have told us an amazing story of some of the challenges and some of the things that you've done so far. And of course, your journey is far from over. It's only the beginning. I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to somebody who aspires to do what you do, be it in your field or just in general? Some golden nuggets for us.
And I would say that our ladies out there, they should not view STEM subjects as men's view. They should not view it like that. They need to change the way they think about these things. And I want them to understand that they are just as likely to excel at STEM subjects as boys. So they need to catch these misconceptions before it turns to beliefs. And I'll encourage them to read books that show both gender in powerful roles. Yeah, like Lab Girl. We have books like Lab Girl by Hope Jaring. We have Chief Lady by Jess Keating, and a whole lot of others. They should read these books and they should get mentors. They should get mentors. Mentors will help them. Mentors will encourage them. Mentors will help them believe in themselves. I think that's the advice I can give to the upcoming ladies out there. And for those that are already in the field, do not be discouraged. I know the challenges will come, yes, will always be there, but just brace up, be strong, and keep doing, be resilient. Keep doing you, believe in yourself. Let no one talk you out of your vision. Let no one talk you out of your plans. You can do everything and anything. I believe in all those girls out there who are already into STEM fields. I believe in those that are upcoming. I believe in our generation. I believe that we can do more, and the world will hear us. Thank you very much, Anne.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for those very affirming words and for coming on and sharing your story and for giving us those books for us to have a look through. I had such a great time talking to you, Kate. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me in the podcast series. Truly, I'm happy that I shared my story. Thank you. Thank you. You did a great job. Keep it.
Thank you so much. And, it was only a pleasure. And to everybody else who's tuning in, thank you so much for once again listening to another episode of the Root of the Suns podcast with your girl, Anne with an E. Until next time, goodbye.